devices in order. Hope you guys are having a great week so far. We're in the middle of the week, only a couple of days, well, a few days to go. It's semi-middle of the week. But we're here, man. How y'all doing, man? Let's chop it up like we always do, just waiting on everybody to pile in the room. And while we're waiting on everybody to pile in the room, y'all go to rallyforreparations.com and support the upcoming Rally for Reparations / Juneteenth celebration that's going down in Washington, D.C., June 15th. We want to see everybody in the place, ladies and gentlemen. Rally for Reparations, and that's the number 4, rallyforreparations.com. We're going to get some calls in a minute, but let's get to the main topic. The question is, family, and y'all start raising your hand and making your requests when you want to come in. And we've been talking about this a lot, and people are just getting very bold. They're getting bolder and bolder. And there's this thing where people got this real weird sense of entitlement with foundational Black Americans, like we owe them support, or we owe support to their groups or their organizations or their causes. And every day we keep seeing foundational Black Americans get shamed because we're not getting involved in people's conflicts, especially this Israel-Palestine thing. We're sitting it out, man. This has nothing to do with us. We're not trying to be targets. The minute some people do show support, they end up being targets. And we're most of us are not trying to be sacrificial lambs for people who are not sacrificing for us. The whole sacrificial Negro thing, we ain't doing that. We're not doing that, family. We've done enough. We have done enough. We're not going to be your mules. We're not going to put the cape on. We're just letting everybody hold their own nuts, man. And there's this one guy, Danny Heafong, whatever his name is, and we retweeted him. He tweeted something. He said, "Beyonce, you're a queen, but what has she said about Gaza? Kendrick Lamar's you're a goat, but what has he said about Gaza? Zendaya, you're everything, but what has she said about Gaza? Your favorite celebrities have given the most cowardly endorsement of an Israel-U.S. genocide. Silence." So this dude and many others, they want to sit here and target Black public figures. You ain't saying nothing about all the white public figures. They're not saying nothing about the Israel-Palestine thing. There's a lot of white people who are neutral. They ain't saying nothing, which is what a lot of them do. When there's conflicts going on, they don't say nothing. He ain't focusing on them. Notice all of this energy, and look, not just this guy, but just the dominant society. Everything is all about what we got to say about it. Whose side are we on? Everybody's desperate to drag foundational Black Americans in this conflict, and it's specifically us. They're not asking people in Britain. They're not asking Black people in Britain. They're not asking Black people in the Caribbean. They're not asking Black people in Africa, nothing. It's all about foundational Black Americans. And not only that, listen, fam, this is how deep it is. They're trying to make it, and Michael Rappaport did this too. Like, yeah, I see y'all. Yeah, y'all ain't saying nothing. Oh, anti-Semitism. So they're trying to make it seem like us not saying anything is a form of bigotry. I talked about this on my broadcast the other night. See, we got to watch how demonic and devilish these people are and how insidious they are with trying to drag us in it. So if we don't say nothing, they're trying to flip that into an anti-Semitism narrative. Well, you ain't gonna speak up for Israel. That's silent anti-Semitism from the Black community. The hell? Family, there was a teacher, not a what is this guy? He's some kind of is a Black guy in charge of some of the schools in Brooklyn. And well, he's like a district somebody. He's a there's some schools out there that he's kind of in charge of. He got, I, God, I wish I knew his exact title, but it's a black guy. And the New York Post said, let me try to find it. Hold on. It's a school in Brooklyn. Uh, what's the name of that school? Hold on. Is it, hold on. I'm trying to Google it now. Origin High School. Yeah. Origins High School. So there was something that happened at Origin High School, and Chancellor David Banks, who's black, they're like, he needs to answer for anti-Semitism because some people at the school, I guess some of the students was pro Palestine or something. Some of the students, a few of the students did something janky. I don't know if something the students did, but the black chancellor, this guy, he's in charge of the schools. They're trying to put it on him. He's the anti-Semite for quote unquote not doing something about it. So they got this Negro boy. They got him apologizing. They done wheeled him out, and they got him splaining all over the place. So they always got to find a black face to put on anti-Semitism. And even if we don't say nothing, that's a form of anti-Semitism. Just our silence. If we don't jump in and put the cape on, and both sides are doing it. If we don't say something for Palestine, oh y'all, why y'all cowards for being silent? We're just giving everybody the same energy they give us. Nothing. Ain't nobody stomping for us. Where do y'all stand on reparations? Not only are you guys silent on reparations, many of you and most of you are against the reparations for foundational Black Americans. We don't owe you nothing. I won't Ben. We got to let folks know. Don't let people try to punk us out to cape for little things that they got going on and they don't do nothing for us. We're not obligated to sit here and be the muse for every damn body. We got to stop letting folks get that comfortable, family. We really got to start checking folks collectively. Not gonna let nobody shame us into supporting stuff we ain't got nothing to do with. Y'all don't support anything. We get attacked all the time over here. We don't get no support. And then they try to play this little hot potato game where they blame it on different little groups. Like, for example, Ron DeSantis, I mean, this dude has ran roughshod on Black history, taking Black history out of the schools down there. There was a shooting that many people believe he was partially responsible for with all of his anti-Black rhetoric. A white supremacist went and targeted some Black folks at a Family Dollar on his watch. You understand? When he was taking all of those Black history books out of the schools out there, how much pushback did we get from the Democrats? How much pushback did we get for the dominant society? How much pushback did we get from these people telling us to jump into the Gaza, um, Palestine, Israel thing? Where were they on this? You understand what I'm saying? You don't. DeSantis didn't get no pushback from none of these groups. The only ones who were pushing back was us. These people turn a blind eye when little janky stuff like that is done to us. Yeah. And another thing, man, the bar for a hate crime, especially when they were putting a hate crime on a Black person, when they're accusing us of a hate crime, when it's these other groups, boy, the bar is real low. Y'all remember in New York, a Black woman got arrested for arguing at a nail shop with an Asian lady. She got into an argument and they said, oops, this is racial. And they arrested this sister on federal charges. So it was another case, I want to say in Texas, where some sisters got into an argument with some people at a beauty supply store. They got arrested on some federal charges. If you just get in an argument with an Asian person and you're Black, that's the thing, and you're Black, they're going to hit you with a hate crime charge, a federal hate crime charge. But black folks, no, we don't get that. We don't get those protections. And now with the Asian community, not the Asian, but the with the Jewish community, they got these anti-Semitism laws. So anti-Semitism is basically if you say, "Hey, shout out to Palestine," they can consider that anti-Semitic if a black person says that. That's why any black person who shows any support to Palestine, they flip that into anti-Semitism. They're saying like in little things like if a black person says from the river to the sea, whoop, that's anti-Semitism. If you don't say something about somebody else's perceived slight against the Jewish person, you're going to be labeled as an anti-Semite as well. So anything a black person does or don't do, that's the thing. Even if you don't say nothing, they're trying to say your silence is anti-Semitic. This is I'm white and I say so on steroids. You see? So they always kind of finesse laws in a way. The name of the game is to make sure these laws are going to hit black people and punish them disproportionately. That's why whenever they try to get these bills going, when they wanted hate crime for Asians, they kept doing those old contrived um, crimes out there in New York and San Francisco, where you had clearly stage perpetrators. Many of them were Caribbean immigrants doing these weird crimes. They're like, hey, look at all these black people harming Asians. Oh my God, we need a hate crime bill. Yeah. And now with the Jewish thing and the anti Semitism thing, I played the clip on my broadcast yesterday where they were on television talking about, oh, the rise of anti Semitism from the black community. This is why we got to get that hate crime bill. See, they have to use us as the big boogeyman so that they can all come together and protect each other with these specific laws. You see, we got to see how the game is. We don't have no allies, man. That's why I'm glad we're circling our wagon. We have to circle our wagon and use our numbers to strengthen ourselves. That's why it's very important for us to use our numbers, get on code, get on the same page, network, bond with each other, vibe with each other, hook up with each other, click in with each other, tap in with each other. That's why everybody has to come on out to DC, the Rally for Reparations Juneteenth celebration. That's one thing we can do to get on code. Just be around each other on the same accord, speaking the same language, sharing the same ideologies, understanding what we need to do in order to empower the group. Because these folks all get together and work against us. Again, with this anti Semitism hate crime thing, that's something that's going to be used to target black folks. They're not going after the Nick Fuenteses and all of these people who sit up here and these white supremacists denigrate Jewish people all day. They're not going after them. It's always how can we go for the black people, not the white dudes who's running around here with tiki torches talking about the Jews won't replace us. There's white supremacist groups who are talking greasy and they post memes about Jewish people all day, every day. We don't do that. We ain't black folks ain't on no 4chan posting Jewish memes. We don't do that. We don't break white people up. Our problem is white supremacy. If you have the power to be a white supremacist, you're a problem. We don't break them up in little ethnic and religious groups. It's not even practical. We just don't want people badgering down on us practicing any form of anti-black racism. We don't have time to break you up in different groups. We don't talk about Asian people or Irish people or Italian people. We don't talk about them. We don't talk about Jewish people as a subgroup. We just don't do that. You see, but the thing is, they are finessing ways to project the bigotry onto us. So anything we do or don't do, they can say that's a hate crime. You see, the bar is real low. But have you noticed when it comes to black folks and getting a hate crime, for them to label a crime done to a black person as a hate crime, not only do we have to damn die, we have to just be offed. And not only that, the perpetrator has to have a manifesto somewhere before they even label it a hate crime. And even if they have a manifesto, they still got to investigate some more. Remember in Buffalo, there are hate crimes against black people all the time. That's completely undercounted, by the way. Hate crimes for black people are so undercounted, it's ridiculous. Somebody said the number that the FBI would have, the real number is about 20 times more than that. And I read that somewhere. The real estimates of the hate crimes against black people are about 20 times higher than what the FBI, because a lot of local law enforcement, they just don't report it to. It's optional for law enforcement to report that to the FBI. And again, I'm telling you from experience, we've had several hate crimes committed against us with the Hidden History Museum. When we file police reports about it, they're real funny style about even labeling it a hate crime, and then they don't want to submit it to the FBI. You see, that happens all the time. Local law enforcement, most of them, they just don't want to report it to the FBI because remember, some of these white supremacist groups who's harming black people, they're buddies with the police because the police is full of damn white supremacists. You see? So they don't want to report their buddies. Just keep it a buck. So anti-black hate crimes, man, they're vastly underreported. So this is why we got to get a very specific one. You see? That's why they're so reluctant because they know we can be in a position to enforce it. But the thing is, as it stands, for a crime against a black person to be labeled a hate crime, boy, there has to be a damn confession. There has to be a couple of bodies on the ground. Remember in Buffalo when the white boy went up in that grocery store and shot all those black people. Remember, they were like, and he had a manifesto too. He had a manifesto with all of his anti-black rhetoric. And the police were still like, well, we're going to investigate and see if this is a possible hate crime. What? The dude had a gun with the word nigger written on it. Remember? He had nigger written on the gun. Shooting a bunch of black people. You did? Even with Dylan Roof and those guys, if Dylan Roof didn't have that manifesto, they wouldn't have given him a hate crime charge. They were trying to do the mentally ill angle on him, and they were parading his little coon friend, talking about, I'm black. I've been knowing Dylan Roof for a long time. Dylan ain't racist. He never been racist to me. Y'all remember that Sambo? Yeah. Yeah, if Dylan Roof didn't write a damn manifesto, that would not have been considered a hate crime. Not only you have to off black folks, and then you got to have a manifesto confessing that it's a hate crime before it's considered a hate crime when it comes to us. So we have to change that, family. We got to stop playing around with this thing and stand on this thing and say, hey, no, 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 no. We're coming together. We're not going to sit here eating butter biscuits with y'all, playing this game. We are taxpayers. We are citizens of this country. We get taxed hard just like everybody else, and we need something for us being taxed. We get taxed. We are deprived of resources all the time. And no, this is what we need. We got to stop being afraid. I want us to stop being afraid, and we got to stand on business for real. You dig? Let me get some of these calls in here because we do have a lot of folks in here. Let's get Sunny. Let's get Sunny in the building. Then we get the um, DJ Tracy D. Then we'll get, let me see. Who else we got? We got a lot. Then we get James Love. All right, Sonny, you want to speak, brother? Sonny, we turn the microphone on. All right, Sonny. Let's get hold on. You ready, Sonny? All right. Let's get uh Evil Tracy DJ.
Peace.
What's up, family?
How you doing?
I'm good, man. What's on your mind?
Yeah, everything you just said was right on point. You know, I like the way you put everything into perspective. Um, I wanted for all the work that you have done and all the knowledge that you have put out, that kind of rejuvenated our spirits to fight against white supremacy the way we supposed to.
Yes, sir.
I believe so that you should be a doctor. Like, I don't understand why none of these HBCUs have come forward to give you a doctor's, like, well, honorary doctor's degree or whatever.
That's a
Because
good idea. That's
because
a very
it's
good
like,
idea, bro.
I mean, it's like, what they do to become doctors, they do a dissertation, they put some kind of knowledge out there,
Yeah,
and your work have put a lot of knowledge out here. So I think that's in order.
my
You
man.
know.
That. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
DJ. Man, that's a great idea. Where my HBCUs folks? Man, where my HBCU people? Who's in these colleges, man? Yo, what's happening? Let's make something happen. That's a great idea. I think I'm down for that. Where my riders? Y'all talk to me. Let's make that happen. My cats out there in the HBCUs right now. Let's make it happen. That'll be great. I'll accept that. That would be great. Let's look into that, family. I mean, that's something that they would have to do. I couldn't do it, but yeah, y'all, that would be great. My folks at the HBCUs, let's look into that. Let's make that happen. I'm down for that. I would appreciate that. You dig? Because the people be doing, y'all be bringing sexy red nose folks up at these schools and doing all that stuff, and I have put in a lot of work. I don't even be looking back at my track record. I'm so busy looking forward, but then I look back, I'm like, oh damn, I done did a lot of fly shit out here. Not to pat myself on the back, but sometimes when people bring it up, I'm like, you know what? Because I don't even be, I don't like patting myself on the back, but people hit me up like, hey man, I just want to thank you, man. You helped my brother get out of jail. I'm like, oh yeah, I did. I be forgetting. People hit me up and thank me and be shouting, oh okay, oh I did do that, okay. I'm just so busy looking forward, man. I'm always looking forward. 'Cause we got so much work to do. I don't really have time to sit back and really reminisce on everything. But truth be told, I done put in a lot of work out here, man. Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta, look back and make an assessment. Man, I done got, man, there's a lot of folks that we done got out of jail. There's a lot of white supremacists that we done got charges on. We done got some of these anti-black racists fired. How many of y'all knew? There's a lot of stuff that I've been out here doing. Um, oh my God. There was y'all remember down in Atlanta a few years ago, there was an Asian lady talking greasy to black folks at a high-end restaurant in Atlanta. It was like the Porsche Museum, something like that. It was something to do with Porsche. And there was this Asian woman who was showing out with her little white friends, and there was some black folks there, and she was talking greasy and racist to black people. I said, man, give me her damn. Somebody find out who she is. This was a few years ago. I said, somebody give me a name on this broad. We start calling around. We found out her damn name. That's all I need is a name. But we found her name out. I got her ass fired. I think she actually worked for Porsche. Yeah, I was on the phone with them, chewing that whole company out. They let her ass go. Yeah. And I was about to get y'all some discounts on them rooms. It was a hotel. I was about to get black folks a discount, but I had some other shit I had to do. I was about to get y'all some discounted rates. But yeah, her ass got fired. We got her fired. There's another white boy that when they had the George Floyd protest out here in L.A., this white boy hemmed his sister up. We found out his name. I got his fat ass fired. He worked at a car dealership. All the white supremacists were so mad at me. Oh, they were mad. I got his big old chunky ass fired for him and that sister up. Yeah, we found out his name, and he worked at a car dealership in Cerritos somewhere out there in the off the 10 freeway. Yeah, we got his ass up out of there. And oh, them white supremacists, oh, you race baiting nigger. Oh, look at that damn Tariq. Oh, they were pissed. When we started getting the white supremacists out the paint, oh, they get pissed. There was another white supremacist who had killed a brother out there in North Carolina. And then we helped get his ass indicted, and they had my name all in the paperwork. They were like, this guy won't be able to get a fair trial because Tariq Nasheed called him all types of suspected white supremacists and whoop-de-whoop. They're trying to get the charges thrown out, and it didn't work. So yeah, we're on these people's bumper, man. There's a lot of stories like that. And there's a reason why these white supremacists are laser focused on what we got going on over here. There's a reason why they always try to get in our mix, because they see shit will get done over here. They see that things will get done over here. So my man made a good point, man. Yeah, some of my folks over there at these HBCUs, man, if y'all want to make that thing happen, man, let's make that happen. That'll be a great thing. Let me get my good brother Afro Elite in the building, who's going to be one of the keynote speakers at the Rally for Reparations in June. What's up, brother Afro?
Tariq, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. What's going on, fam?
I'm glad you're speaking on this subject because right now in Chicago, there's at a university a whole bunch of Palestine protests about Gaza, a ceasefire, and all of that. And I really want to emphasize the fact that foundational Black Americans need to stay completely out of that situation. That
Mm-hmm.
situation has absolutely nothing to do with us. If you notice in the news, nobody is really trying to call Palestinians anti-Semitic. The the
Right.
the thing, and they're the ones doing the most tearing up. They're the ones screaming. They're the ones. If anybody should be labeled anti-Semitic, it's them. But it's the few black people. They're cherry picking the black people in the crowd, and they're roughing the black people in the crowd up. They're calling the black people in the crowd anti-Semitic. All of the essential, really, the clapback from the Jewish community is towards the few black people involved.
Right.
And
Right.
if there is a ceasefire and the Palestinians, they go home and they mind their own business, we're still going to be faced with the backlash of all of this stuff because there were black people involved in this situation. So essentially, they're getting a pass, and we're going to be facing the punishment over something that has nothing to do with us at all. So we really got to stay out of this situation.
Real talk. Thank you so much. And that, man, that's what it's really about. They want us out there so that we can absorb the abuse. Because, see, a lot of them, they're getting lightweight roughed up and they don't like it. Oh, they're not even using the tear gas and the rubber bullets on them. They're just kind of pushing them out with the shields. Oh God, hurt my arm, dude. Oh God, he pushed my elbow. You hit my goddamn funny bone, dude. You know, it's that. You know, you're not really getting abused. White people are kind of getting shoved around a little bit. They ain't getting abused. The abuse comes when they bring their little black friend. Now, you bring your black friend out there, they dumping on him. They start punching down on the black friend and then label him anti-Semitic. Semitic. See, they want black folks out there so they can claim that they're the leaders. Our good brother, Professor Black Truth, did a broadcast the other day about some dude who was at one of these protests and he was chanting with his white friends. Then they labeled him the leader of the protest, some little random Negro, and talked about, oh God, he's so anti-Semitic. Oh, he needs to apologize for his anti-Semitism. This was the one little black dude. Yeah. So yeah, they're doing all types of dirty tricks. They want us out there so that we can absorb the blows and the no, 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 no. Black folks stay home. Do not take your asses out there. God, no, there's a lot of these Negroes out here who love attention. Let's be real. So you like being the black friend. So you want to go out here with your little white buddies and protest. Like that sister who went out there and the white men start yelling, Lizzo, Lizzo. She's out there by her white buddies left her by herself while a crowd of wild white supremacists were about to attack her. Yeah, you dumb as hell if you are black and going to these protests out here putting yourself in the line of danger for what? What for what? And then I saw y'all see Greg Carr, Roland's buddy, talking about, yeah, how come we ain't such and such ain't speaking on Gaza? There must be some kind of talking point coming from the Democrats telling their little shills and operatives to use little shaming language to get the black masses on the Palestine thing. No, we're not. We're not on that. We are Bennett. We ain't in it. Let's get Golden Franks in the building. Golden Franks. Golden Franks. Shout out to my brother Richard Sudan in the building from the UK. Y'all shout out our brother. Golden Franks, hop on, man.
Tariq, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. How are you?
Man, I'm doing good. Hey, man, that was a good idea. Yeah, I think the HBCUs need to jump on that ASAP. My question was, what do you think the hate is coming from a museum? Like, how deep is the hate? Can you explain that to us? Like, a museum, how do you get
Yeah,
this much hate towards a museum?
it's a couple of things. That's a very good question, man. Yeah, but it's not normal for people to be that butthurt and ruffled because of our museum. Because all of the arguments are in bad faith. Even before we got the museum, just the idea and the fact that we raised all that money so fast, that's when the hate started. The hate started even before we got the museum. And I knew it was going to continue even after we got it, because the first thing when we got the money for the museum, we did something damn near impossible. We raised $1 million in a month. So that put the alphabet boys on alert. I want y'all to understand something, family. My man brought up a very good point. When you can raise $1 million in a month, family, do you know how much of a power move that is? I want y'all to really let that seep in for a minute. How many black people do you know can do that? Think about that for a minute. Let's be real. That when black people get money for stuff, usually it's white people. You get it from some white people. And black people are used to doing that. Black people are used to, if we want something, you got to go talk to your white buddies. You got to find some white billionaires. You got to, kind of tap dance a little bit. Let's be real. In order to get big money like that, you got to go holler at some white people. We didn't do that. I said, no, 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 no. I know my lineage. I know y'all. I know your spirit. I know your energy, dude. That's foundational Black Americans. I know what the hell we're capable of. No, no, no. No. I know our history too much, man. I know what we're capable of. I knew that we could get that kind of money on our own, just on the grassroots. We've man, we used to build cities and towns, and we still do to a certain degree. We built places all over this nation, man. Our ancestors did so many phenomenal things, and they did it with less resources we have now. So just knowing that, I know what we're capable of. I knew we could do that, and I put it on out there. And it was a bold challenge. I said, hey, family, we're going to get a Black History Museum, the Hidden History Museum, talk about history from our own perspective. We need $1 million in 30 days, and got it. And when we got $1 million in 30 days, boy, the alphabet boys, boy, they had to go on alert. And they did what they used to do in the 1960s. They used to, the FBI and the CIA, when you had Black Power organizations like the Black Panthers and others, they would do what's called poison pen letters. They would try to discredit the efforts of some of these other grassroots organizations. So they would pretend to be opposing Black nationalist groups, but they were really FBI funded, and they would just out the blue write derogatory newspaper articles about it. They would have their little newspapers and write all of these crazy articles discrediting them, accusing them of stealing, and just making up stuff. Those were called poison pen letters. The FBI was very good at doing that. That was exposed in the Cointelpro paperwork too. Um, because what the Black Panthers were doing, y'all got to understand, they were raising money on a grassroots level, and using that money to feed the community. See, that's when the Black Panthers became a real threat. Them with the guns, they weren't. That was a threat to a certain degree because they just immediately changed the gun laws. So they fixed that immediately. When the Black Panthers were walking around with them guns in the 1960s, the NRA was in front of the line to say, hey, let's change these gun laws. So all they did was change the gun laws. So they fixed that immediately because that they knew how to neutralize that threat. The real threat came when the Black Panthers were feeding people and offering medical service. That's the problem because that is the basis of nation building. When you can feed and heal a group of people without outside help, that's a threat because now you're building a damn nation. That's when the Black Panthers had to get the hell up out of here. That's when they had to go shoot Fred Hampton in his damn sleep and do all this dirty ass shit. When you start building something on a grassroots, that's when they go on alert and they start playing dirty. So going back to us, when we got that money for a museum in an area that's being deliberately gentrified, you ding? That Crenshaw, South Central area, they're deliberately trying to gentrify it. They're putting gang injunctions on people, that little slick stuff they did to our brother Nipsey in the area. You know, they were investigating Nipsey and had surveillance on Nipsey, you see, all the time, but they didn't see when the shooting happened. Yeah, right. Yeah, they doing surveillance every day except that day. Yeah. So yeah, when you start building something, that's when you become a threat. When you start doing it on a grassroots level, especially in areas where they're deliberately trying to run the Black people and the Black business owners out. Yeah, the alphabet people go on alert. That's when we start seeing all of these random people just pop out of nowhere with all of these anti Hidden History Museum videos and commentary. You think these people are not working with the damn FBI? You think Cointelpro doesn't exist? I'm in court with people now, these quote unquote haters. I'm back and forth, in and out of court. Y'all don't know the half of the stuff that's been done out here. Some of the little Cointelpro shit that people have been doing that I'm in court with these folks. It's FBI shit all day. I mean, the same tactics. A lot of folks don't know. Y'all know Michi X? She got some law firm and tried to trademark the name Hidden History Museum. She tried to steal the name. There was a law firm. I don't know where she got the money, but I think I do know where she got the money. She tried to steal the trademark for Hidden History Museum. You know, that's not somebody being a hater. That's something else. So we had to, stop her from doing that because she got a law firm to lie and say that the Hidden History Museum website was owned by them, which it wasn't. They were doing all types of weird COINTELPRO stuff and other people that she's worked with. There's an undercover cop that she works with who actually came up to the museum. I only talk about a lot of this stuff. So while she's doing that, some undercover cop that she works with, this dude came to the museum doing like some weird videos. And it's just a lot of FBI COINTELPRO stuff that has happened surrounding the museum. And it ain't just niggas hating. Because even being a hater, it has to be a practical thing being a hater. You don't have people going in and out of court and crashing out and doing all this weird stuff just because they're haters. These folks are sent to do that. And the museum represents a power move. You dig? And also, another thing on the flip side of that, you do have a bunch of jealous tethers. Now, that's another thing. It's half FBI COINTELPRO types, and the other half are just jealous tethers. Now, that's the thing. Now, tethers, they hate for free. Because now with the museum, us getting the money and getting a real popping museum, that to them, to the tethers, that makes them look bad because they're like, they came from these countries where it's 200 million of them and they couldn't even build an outhouse. And us, we're way less than them over here. We got something popping. We got an institution popping within a month. You dig? So that makes them feel a certain way because they're so used to getting around white people, talking about how we're lazy akatas and how they whack so hard and they're so much better than these niggas. And when we do some shit that they couldn't even do in their homeland, raise a lot of money and get an institution going, oh, they have to denigrate it. So we got to see where the hate is coming from. You see, real stuff here.
This is the 50th anniversary of hip-hop, and we still have a lot of discrepancies as far as the origins of hip-hop, a lot of claims, who did what, who was the first this, who was the this and that, and such and such. But at the end of the day, we need a definitive story, all right? And that story can only be told by the founders of this culture.
Like everything was being driven and influenced by young, Black, American culture. Like the slang, the style of dress, the initial music that we chose.
You look at all the boroughs, you got, money making Manhattan and money earning Mount Vernon and Crooklyn. The Bronx was the boogie down Bronx. We was partying up there.
I am Coke LaRock, the first MC of hip hop. First cat to pick the mic up.
I introduced rapping to the turntable because when I came with it, nobody in the world was doing it. I'm right after Rudy Ray Moore.
They want to come in the mix, they want to say, we started. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. What came to be known as hip hop was solely an African-American creation.
What would you get out of some Jamaican toast? What is that? I've never heard of a rapper use a Jamaican toast or a Jamaican fleur as a rhyme. I never heard of it, and I don't know where that myth came from.
My name is legendary King Trixie from the Bronx, BX from the West Side. I am the first break dancer.
That narrative that hip hop has had 3 founding fathers, that's been rolling for the last almost 30 years, which isn't true. You don't have just 3 people who created hip hop. Hip hop was created by a number of different people.
I am the grandfather, the godfather of the graffiti culture. I am the first element of hip hop.
The roots of hip hop being Jamaican, absolutely false.
My name is MC Sha-Rock. I am a founding member of the MC/rap culture.
Cassette tapes was the internet of our time. It just traveled around by hand.
Well, I know for a fact that the B-boy stand started from the guards, the 5 percenters that would be at the jams back in the days who were acting as security.
If they get the real truth of how it all was created, then so many lies would not be able to be in existence.